Today's episode is brought to us by Abby Connect. And I know a lot of you are business owners and want to focus on your growth and sales. And steady growth comes with great customer experiences, which start from that very first phone call. So if you have clients going to voicemail, there are missed opportunities. And did you know that 85% of callers who reach a voicemail hang up and get super frustrated? So let's capture those opportunities without paying for a full-time receptionist by using Abby Connect. Abby Connect is extremely unique. You will be assigned a small team of receptionists that customize all of the call handling for you. And unlike the competition, they will not nickel and dime you with extra add-ons or fees. You'll get all the pricing up front, and it's really easy to use. So try it out. Get your free trial and a very special offer over at abbyconnect.com. Make sure to mention the Abundant Accountant podcast when you set up your trial and give it a whirl. Once again, abbyconnect.com. Welcome to the Abundant Accountant podcast, where all accountants come to learn all the ways to grow your firm. And when you're in doubt, I am here to help you out. So if you're ready to learn and ready to grow your firm, then you're in the right place to sharpen your skills and increase your revenue. Welcome to the Abundant Accountant podcast. Today on the Abundant Accountant podcast, we have a very special guest. His name is Andrew Lassise. Hopefully I said that right. He wrote me in quotes how to say it, but he'll tell you his name in just a sec. And he's a serial entrepreneur. He started his first company at 16. He grew his current company, which is technology support for you, accountants. He founded it in 2014 and has grown it to a little over $4.5 million. Not too shabby. He knows how to grow a business, so he can help you. And he helps accountants improve their technology so they can grow and scale firms, just like he did with Rush Tech. As an accounting professional, I know you feel frustrated and stressed trying to get the right clients, or it might seem like you have no control over who you work with or how much you can charge. And it probably seems like charging a high monthly fee or a big consulting engagement is not even in the realm of possibility. But that's not your fault. I know that there are not many people training you on how to fix these problems and really connect the dots. So up until now, mostly all of my high-end clients have had access to this information, but I am very excited about sharing this with a few more of you. And I am offering a free coaching session to discover the possibilities you have within your firm with the current clients that you already have. So this is for a few of you. If you've had an accounting business, you own it, and you've had it at least 2 years, then you qualify to book a call over at theabundantcall.com. And if you're just sick and want to jump 2 feet in to discover what's possible because what you're doing just isn't working anymore, then head on over to theabundantcall.com. Now let's welcome Andrew to the show.
Michelle, thank you so much for having me.
Thank you so much for taking out the time to be here. I can't wait to hear some of your stories about how being organized and having tech in place in an accounting firm can actually help an accountant increase their firm revenue, profitability, which equals abundance in my mind. But before we dive into our episode today, could you share with everyone who you are, where you're from, and what is it that you created?
Sure. So my name is Andrew Lassise. I'm originally from Maryland, and I've been transplanted into Florida because the state of Maryland, we had a couple differences in what I should and shouldn't be doing. So did a pivot, moved to Florida 7 years ago. So what we do at Rush Tech Support, I'm a serial entrepreneur. So I built my first company when I was 16 in the CD duplication industry, which now doesn't even exist. Some people are like, well, what's CDs? It's all Spotify and digital now. But Rush Tech, what we do is we help accountants with their IT, their organization, their cybersecurity. I founded it 6 years ago in my living room, and went from 36,000 in the first year, and I learned about actually scaling and growing a real business and got it to almost 2 million the following year. So a 48x years experience and growth was really, really cool. So that's
Awesome.
That's the 3,000 foot view.
That's great. And now what's your revenue?
Oh, now? Well, if it weren't for that pesky COVID.
Yeah, whatever. All our revenues dropped. It's pretty, well, not accountants, but the consultants too, you guys. We've had a little bit of a dip, let's say. But, just in general, just to give the landscape a little bit more depth.
So at the peak, we were at about 4.5 million was the height of it. However, when we decided that we weren't going to be everything to everybody, and we started realizing that we have a particular skill set that we can really, really hone in on with accountants, because my background, I have a financial planning degree, and as timing would have it, in 2009, we're in one of the worst recessions in U.S. history. And so nobody is looking to hire a financial advisor straight out of college with zero real world experience.
Yeah. It's probably kind of like now, like the financial advisor. I mean, there's just so many people who are taking a massive hit. But I love how you said, you can't be everything to everybody. I'm not that way. For all of the listeners, they kind of already know me. I only work with accountants. If they come to a sales class, it's not like there's, a financial planner in there or, a car dealer sales guy. It's only you guys. It's only accountants. So I can't wait to learn. When did you realize, obviously at your peak, you guys were at 4.5 million. You're probably helping more than just accountants. But how did you scale back and say, hey, you know what? We can't be everything to everybody. And what'd you do?
So at that point, we had about 50 full-time employees, and we were the everything to everyone. So if you are a 95-year-old grandma that doesn't know how to use Outlook, we're your team.
Oh my
You're
God.
a millennial that's looking for, insert whatever crazy thing it is. That's us too. You are a financial planner and you need your whole business set up and you've got 50 employees in multiple locations. That's us too. And, what we realized as time went on, even though the gross numbers were getting bigger, sales doesn't solve every problem, and not all money is created equal. So we would kill ourselves and bust our butts to basically lose money on some of these low value deals. And then it would be taking away time from the clients that were actually bringing a lot to the business. But it's like, well, sorry, everybody is equal. And that's kind of like what we're taught, right? It's like every customer is your most important customer. And I do agree with that to an extent. But if you've got somebody that's paying 50 times what another person's paying and your company is just, yep, we do everything you can possibly think of, what ends up happening is you spread yourself. And I mean, IT, I think the misconception that most people have, it's basically most people know as much as they know about computers and technology. And then anyone that knows more than them is a forensic cybersecurity expert that should be working for the CIA because like someone knows how to do something like remove a virus, which most people don't know how to do, but like things that you can YouTube and not having any background could knock out. So what we realized though was that there's actually a lot of parallels in IT with accountants, and particularly in the compliance aspect, and that we don't really like the compliance piece of our job. Like it's, part of the job and what people expect from us. So when we need to have, the checklist of do's and don'ts from the IRS and the FTC and the GLBA with protecting clients' data, what we came to realize was a lot of our accounting clients, they had a lot of really, and I mean, still like this today, but very old school mentality. And they wanted all of the things, but at the same time didn't want to learn a whole new system. And until you can really demonstrate, here is the hidden cost of not making these changes and digitizing. And here's a perfect example. I have a friend, we'll call him Joe, does all of his business on a sticky note. Joe Sticky.
Okay. Joe Sticky. Here we go, guys. This is a real life example of maybe it's you. Maybe you're listening. You're like, yep, I'm that old school mentality and I don't want to learn a thing. But here's the catch when we don't adapt, right? We don't, like you had to make a pivot, right, Andrew? Like you pivoted, and instead of serving the 98-year-old grandma and her Outlook and the millennial, you've now focused with the accountants. And obviously it's worked in your favor, and we'll get to that in a little bit because I want to know, what does abundance mean to you? But let's hear about Joe Sticky, because Joe Sticky might be one of you listening right now, and pay close attention, because I hate talking about the tech stuff too, but I got to help her on that. I can't stand the tech stuff, Andrew. It's like speaking Japanese, right? And I'm already trying to learn Spanish, and it's hard enough. So let's hear about Joe Sticky.
So Joe Sticky, and we won't get crazy technical with it, but Joe Sticky, just the way that he does things is, my mind is a steel trap, pen and paper have never failed me, yada, yada, yada. So I had approached him about being my accountant, and he was super excited, and there's a whole lot we can do here, and I can help you with this. And, what about having your wife as a member of the LLC, and then we'll orchestrate this? And I was like, okay, great. I love this. I love that we're not just doing like reactive to here was what happened last year. And, we're going to be doing proactive. It's going to be consultative. This is exactly what I'm looking for. And crickets. And I ran into him a couple weeks later. Hey, Joe Sticky, remember that all that stuff we were talking about in the proactive and blah, blah, blah. Oh, yeah. I just, just so backed up, and yeah, let's do it. What were we talking about again? And so we go over it, and then 3-4 weeks later, I still haven't heard back from him again. And I just went with the person who's now my current accountant, who is an awesome person. But it's like, that person had the opportunity to have me as their client. And I mean, at the end of the day, that's kind of what we're all shooting for. But there weren't any systems in place. There wasn't any process in place. On my own CRM, it's virtually impossible for me to not follow up with somebody, because it's in my face 24/7. And it's built in. Humans don't like having to remember and recall things. So when you just get a notification, hey, it's time to call Andrew to get money from Andrew, he is interested, right there.
Yeah.
All he had to do was pick up the phone. And I mean, my part in it, sure, I could have reached back out and chased the person that
yeah, but you're the client.
Right.
And let me tell you, because I don't know if you're listening, you didn't know, but news to you guys, I do teach sales to accountants. So
Get out.
Yeah, I know, right? The Abundant Accountant podcast, Michelle, the pitch queen, who would have ever known that we're having sales discussions? And I'm curious to know, Andrew, how you define this as a hidden cost, because I want everyone listening to understand what that means to you. I see this as a massively missed opportunity. And also, do you think Joe Sticky's ever going to get a really good referral? It's like, no, don't contact that guy. It's a waste of your time. He'll tell you he's going to promise to send you this. You'll never get the email. And then it seems like he didn't even really take any notes, right? Because there was no process in place. And he asked you, well, what are we talking about again? And at the end of the day, and I've shared this before, but Andrew, do you feel like it cost you any time as the client? Like, because you didn't get it set up soon enough? Because there are implications if we don't do things in time, especially when it gets to the November, December timeframe and you're starting a business. If things aren't done in time, then when you go to do the compliance work, it's not in the best interest for your future prospects sitting in front of you.
Yeah. And I think people have kind of this mindset about money and it being, oh, well, money isn't the be all end all. There's a whole lot more to life than money. And I'm not going to be chasing the money. And, if that's your mindset, like, more power to you. But in this example, exactly like you're describing, me as the client, I've been sitting here waiting, not able to get the things done that I actually needed to get done, that I'm willing to pay money for because I know the value of it. And so as a client, they're putting me in a disposition as well. So, I mean, they could look at it just black and white. Well, I didn't charge you anything. So, I mean, whatever, I didn't get your business, and just looking at that dollar amount. But you're absolutely right, because the accountant that I currently have, I've given referrals to, and I've given him other business to. So there was the missed opportunity and the lost trust. And I mean, Joe Sticky is still a great person, don't get me wrong. But Joe Sticky, if somebody says, Andrew, would you recommend Joe Sticky? My experience with Joe Sticky is he put my information on a sticky note and lost it, I guess, or doesn't have a process.
Yeah.
It is what it is. But having that process in place, it's not only well, I don't like asking for money because I have some sort of weird feeling around it and that whole mindset piece. But as the client, I needed that service at that time. And really, the price wouldn't have even been one of the things that I'm even really super concerned with, because he's solving the need. And that really it was a big missed opportunity. And not to be, oh, don't you know who I am, blah, blah, blah. But like, I know people, I know stuff.
Yeah. So I question, Andrew, because obviously Joe Sticky dropped the ball. How does technology, right? Because there's also the mindset, like, I like doing things new, pivoting, adding systems and tools into your process. I mean, even the accountants that worked with me, if you're listening, the amount of homework I give you to create your whole sales process as we go through week by week, you're always like, oh my gosh, Michelle, I know it's only 8-week period, but it's a lot and I get it. But guess what? Those people, like you said, the money's not all equal, but once you start getting the higher revenue money, very similar to this engagement you could have had with Andrew, Joe Sticky, those are higher value engagements that don't require as much effort and are way more fun to probably do, but we have to make the shift. So how does Rush Tech, if you were to have Joe Sticky as a user of your services, how would that have solved the problem for him? Or how does technology, how do you see that help an accountant, small firm, solo firm, really be able to create that firm of abundance that they're looking for? So they're not, frazzled and dropping sticky notes, or, maybe it fell in his coffee. Who knows?
Right. Well, the piece that I think any good tech company will recognize going into the sales process is not all people are going to be super excited to move things digitally or to change the way that they've done things, because humans just in general, we don't like change. So if you can say the sentence, I've been doing it this way for years and everything is fine, and we can't uncover any sort of missed opportunities or any sort of pain point for you, then maybe it's not the best fit. But Joe Sticky, for instance, had he taken us on as a client, we would have sat down, looked at the process, and then, okay, if you're currently using Outlook, how crazy would it be if we put reminders inside of it. So these are baby steps. If they're not trying to do like a full CRM or a full whatever it is, if they're just looking for baby steps, hey, we can put a reminder in Outlook and just drag it each time you're going to call this person. And there's way, way, way better systems than this, but just kind of getting them used to it. And I promise the first time you get a sale from someone that it's just in your calendar to follow up with them that you hadn't really thought about in a while. And there's so many ways you can automate and streamline. And that's when it gets super, super like complex and fun for us, where I'll get sales like, that they pitch do this and you can get paid while you sleep. Like I've literally gotten sales while I have been asleep through automation from strangers because we've set the process in place and there's measures that you can take and automation that you can put in and follow up and, if this, then that. But with someone that's reluctant, just dipping their toes in the water. And at first there's going to be reluctance. Although, I mean, to be honest, when most people hire us, they're usually in the mindset of, my name is Joe Sticky and I lost Andrew as a client.
And I've lost Andrew's brother, Andrew's sister, Andrew's best friend. I've lost so much that I have to change. It's like, how much money do you want to really leave on the table? Even though you might have the money isn't the end all be all mentality, but clearly it's not a really good look and reputation also. So this also helps for those of you who want to show that you are credible, that you do have a legit business. This process is key. This is how people, see you. It's not like they see your packaging on a shelf at a store. They see your systems and your services and how you operate your business. That's what I've been told about me. So I think that's great what you're doing. When you say for an accountant just to kind of dip their toes in the water and make some baby steps, let's say they're, not going to hire you. They want to try something themselves today, for example. Okay. What is like, from the tech expert, what are like the first two things that someone listening could do right now? They're like, okay, this was a great chat. I am sick of it. I am no longer going to be like Joe Sticky. Thank you for the reminder again. I've heard that like 20 times from other avenues. Like, what are the one or two things that they could implement today?
I think the easiest thing for people dipping their toes in the water is just a call reminder in Outlook, or setting up, say you have to do payroll for your client every other week, setting up the time in your calendar where it's blocked out and you're in front of the computer anyway, but getting those push notifications. That's why cell phones are just, social media, all these things are so huge, because we like to just sit and be told what to do. As much as people, they say, I don't want to be told what to do, they actually do. So if you're telling yourself, though, and you have it blocked out at this time, follow up with this prospect at this time, it's in my calendar. And just those little push notifications, they can start moving the mountain, moving the boulders. And if you want to implement a full scale CRM where you are supposed to call the person right now and they didn't pick up, so here's the automated email that went out and whether or not they opened it, like, you can get very complex with it, but keeping it simple, just a push notification in your calendar is a huge step forward over a sticky note, which is just one step behind a text or a Word document on your desktop.
Yeah. Joe Sticky, that is the greatest way to explain it, to drop the ball, right? One of my good friends, actually, she's not an accountant. She loves sticky notes, but they're only there for the day. And all the sticky notes also go into her calendar. So if you are obsessed with sticky notes, you could like write it on the sticky note, put it in the Outlook calendar, or, if you're like me, use the Mac iCal, and then throw the sticky note away at the end, then you'll have like that little dopamine rush of feeling accomplished. Because I know all of you like to check off something off a checklist. I do. I actually last night had this whole list of things that I've been needing to do. By the way, Andrew, it's on a sticky note, and I like crossing it off. I do. But they're also in my notepad on my phone. I have two places because I know that sticky note, it sometimes gets legs and starts to move around on me. And I'm like, man, where did I put that sticky note? Because I'm not really a sticky note kind of gal. Okay, great. So with that being said, the reminders, the push notifications, and we're not going to get into the psychology of this, but the fact that, people like to be told what to do from your technology is hilarious. And yes, all the push notifications on the apps kind of proves that. Is there anything else, Andrew, if they're not going to hire you for a full-blown CRM that you've seen work for the clients who aren't a good fit, right? That you didn't find they haven't lost 10, 20 clients. You didn't find any major pain points. There's not a ton of missed opportunities, but they want to start changing it because they know the Joe Sticky way is not the way for the life of abundance at all, or the firm of abundance for that matter.
Yeah, the steps that people can take that don't hire us, a lot of what we see, a lot of it is also the horror stories where everything gets erased or deleted.
Yeah.
There's a million different things in the cybersecurity world, not so much in the sales side, but on the security, which we hit on a lot. There's two-factor authentication. If you're using Xero, QuickBooks, Sage, any of the major ones, they all have it built in. That's one of those, it's a little inconvenient to type in that code, but with all the data breaches that have happened in the last couple months, especially since work from home became so big, just, for your client's sake, put a little extra protection. Obviously, we would go A to Z and make sure it's 100%, but two-factor authentication is a low-hanging fruit, and don't make your password or have a document on your desktop called passwords.
Yeah, probably not a good idea. Okay, and I think not only the two-step authentication, but like you said, everything gets erased, or that horror story of cybersecurity, that what I'm hearing is back up your computers, back up your devices, back up stuff, right?
Absolutely. We actually had a client who had told us backup sounds expensive, and I just got a text message from the person doing data recovery, and it was $2,800 to get them back to where it was 3 weeks ago when we told them $300 would solve everything. So,
wow. Well, it sounds like they were slightly overwhelmed, and it sounds like they thought $300 was definitely a challenge up front. But sometimes you have to learn your lesson. And in that case, it was a $2,500 lesson plus 3 weeks of probably lost data. And it's never the same when it comes back. I've had that happen on my iPhone. I'm like, where are half the text messages? They've gone poof into outer space. So I'm all about the backup process. My last question for you is, what does the business life of abundance look like to you?
For me personally, and I've been very, very blessed with having a successful company, but for me, it's providing value to others and being able to have a life where, because of the systems that I put in place in year one, when we only made 36,000, or it was really just me for the most part, because I put those systems in place and I was willing to take the time, dissect what I was doing, make systems, and then have ways to replicate them where I have employees and their families are being provided for. I have vendors and their families are being provided for. So the abundance that I create, even though I may not always be the one doing the tech work, the abundance for me is about being able to provide for everybody else so that they can get their own definition of abundance.
Love it. Well, thank you so much for being here with us on the Abundant Accountant podcast. It was such an honor to have you. How do people reach you or talk to you to see if they have any problems, or if they're like Joe Sticky and fed up and they're like, all right, Andrew, let's do this? Because I think you can really help some listeners that are listening today. I truly do. Not everybody, but there's maybe a couple of you that are like, all right, I'm just going to do it. I'm going to call him because I keep missing the boat and my sticky notes and my Word document just are not cutting it.
Yeah, people can reach me on LinkedIn, Andrew Lassise, Lassise. It looks like Lassie, but there's a S between that I and E. They can check out our company, rushtech.online. And, we've focused our offerings to the accountants and accountrepreneurs, the firms, the back and forth. So we do offer free IT audits just for peace of mind, especially now because the work from home, the biggest question that we get is my data secure? Is my client information even safe? Like, we're all doing work from home and I don't know if I even got hacked or what that would even look like. So we do a complimentary audit for accountants.
Oh, cool. Complimentary audit. That's worth the call and email to Andrew. So go to rushtech.online, and that's TECH. But thank you so much for being here with us today. It was an honor to have you, and I'll put the website in the show notes. So thanks so much, Andrew.
Awesome. Thank you so much for having me.
What an amazing episode with Andrew from Rush Tech. I can't believe he's doing complimentary assessments, but actually I can. So if you're an accountant, I do basically the same thing, right? A complimentary free coaching session with you if you've been in business at least 2 years and you want to clean up your sales system. So with that being said, if you're not going to take Andrew up on his complimentary assessment, it definitely might be worthwhile to go back up your computer today, because to get back all of your data is actually really expensive. I thought the $2,800 deal was pretty good, but two-step authentication, yep, it's annoying. It's really, really irritating every time you have to type in 6 numbers every time you log in, but it's for the safety of your clients. And when we keep our clients safe, that means you're safe. And that's one way you can really improve your abundance. So for those of you who want to fix your sales part, just like Joe Sticky clearly didn't have tech in his backyard. He also had 0 sales skills in his back pocket. But if you really want to create your dream practice, similar to like Andrew did with his business, and you want to have more time and more money, because if you have a sales process, then you're no longer winging it anymore. And it will slowly improve the confidence when you're talking to clients and you want to charge them a lot. Maybe Joe Sticky didn't really want to charge a whole lot, so that's why he never followed up with Andrew. But that's like a missed opportunity. That one whole client could have paid for so many different things than Joe Sticky's accounting firm. But if that's you, I do complimentary assessments, coaching sessions to really get to the truth and the bottom of what is missing in your sales process. So if you want to explore more, head on over to theabundantcall.com and you'll have a call with me, and we'll see if I could support you. And if I can, I'll let you know. If not, I will let you know that too and recommend some next best steps. The only requirement I have is that you've been in business at least 2 years and you have clients that have disappeared on you. Maybe they even fell off a sticky note. You never followed up with them, and you're looking for, to improve your revenue. So head on over to theabundantcall.com. And if you could please leave a written review on Apple Podcasts, that would be great. Thank you all so much for joining me here on another episode of the Abundant Accountant Podcast. It is always an honor and pleasure to be here with you. And as a business owner, I know the number one thing on your P&L is revenue, which means growth. And steady growth comes with great customer experiences, which start from that very first phone call. So let's not miss out on any opportunities, because 85% of people that call you, if they reach a voicemail, will actually hang up and get pretty frustrated. So let's capture those opportunities, and without having to pay for a full-time receptionist, we can use Abby Connect. Abby Connect is unique. They will give you a small team of receptionists that actually customize all the call handling for you. So unlike competition out there, they're not going to nickel and dime you, and they're part of the Abundant Accountant podcast family. So you're going to get a free trial along with a very special offer. Head on over to abbyconnect.com, mention the Abundant Accountant podcast when you set up your trial, and let's focus on that growth and that experience. Have a beautiful day, and I'll see you in the next episode.